last night we dropped a bombshell on Goldman Sachs. They're currently testifying in front of Congress, and Congress is grilling them, making sure that they learn their lesson. Well, how could Goldman Sachs learn their lesson when they are in bed with this government 6 ways to Sunday? And they're in bed on something that will net $10 trillion. Stu was gone yesterday. I don't know if he's got the new Howard Stern contract where he only works, 1 day a week, and then he takes all summer off, or I don't know. But
that's what I'm working on, yes.
All right. So you didn't see this last night.
I did not.
I would like you to help me explain it another way. And so let me explain it to you, and then you can put it up on the chalkboard so you can see it. If you're an Insider Extreme member, you can watch Stu as he's got the chalkboard there. And I'll explain it to you, and you put it up on the chalkboard, and then I'd like you to come up with another way to explain this. Okay?
Yeah.
Because I explained it as plainly as I could last night, but somehow or another, and you also, and Pat, you're held on, you tell me if something doesn't sound, if something sounds like, well, you don't have that one buttoned up, or, well, that's no big deal. All right. So CCX, just write CCX. CCX is, you might not want to make them that big, but got a lot of graph to do. All right. So CCX is the Chicago Climate Exchange. Do you know what that is, Stu?
Yes, I do.
Isn't that where they trade carbon credits and all that?
Yes, but it's all voluntary right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so you trade carbon credits, which is invisible gas. Basically, you go to Africa and find a country or a company that is, not making carbon, and you buy their carbon credits. Okay? Got it? So that's what that is. Now, who originally started funding the CCX to get this off the ground? The original funding to get the carbon climate exchange off the ground. Did you watch the show last night?
Not this part.
Okay.
I didn't see it yet.
All right.
I have a DVR.
It's a company, or it's an organization called the Joyce Foundation. Okay? The Joyce Foundation is bigger than the Tides Foundation. Tides, if you remember right, the one that wrote the stimulus package, right? Or that's the Apollo Alliance. They're the benefactor of the Apollo Alliance is the Tides Foundation. Tides is George Soros. Joyce Foundation gives money to the George Soros Foundation, Tides. On the other side of Joyce Foundation, they give money. They're so big, they give money to George Soros. Got it? Now, the Joyce Foundation gave money to get CCX off the ground, but there's somebody that was on the board from, let me see if I have this right, 1994 to 2002. This was the person that took the money and funneled it to CCX to make sure that it could get off. He was the one that made sure that the Joyce Foundation got enough money to start the climate change exchange. Okay, so he's in between the two. You got it?
Wait, who was that? You didn't say who it was.
Barack Obama.
No.
Barack Obama. Is that amazing? Just that in and of itself is amazing. Goes to BO and then the CCX. The Joyce Foundation, which he was on the board of from 1994 to 2002, also gives money to, what's his name? John Ayers, Bill Ayers' brother. Okay? So they give money to the Soros Foundation. They give money to Bill Ayers' brother for education purposes. And Barack Obama was the one who gave the money and funneled the money to the climate exchange, the Chicago Climate Exchange. Now, the guy who's in charge of the climate exchange is Richard Sandor. So he's the CEO of Climate Exchange. You got it? Richard Sandor. Richard Sandor, and we played a clip of him last night saying, this is great. This is a $10 trillion a year business. Got it? So $10 trillion is an awful lot of money. U.S. and foreign stock exchanges equities market, U.S. and foreign exchanges, is $15 trillion a year. This CCX is $10 trillion a year. Barack Obama Foundation funnels the money to CCX. They start it. They give it to Richard Sandor. Now, here's where it gets really good. A London-based organization called Generation Investment Management, GIM. They're from London. They see the $10 trillion of the Global Climate Exchange, or the Chicago Climate Exchange, and they say this is fantastic. We have to invest in it. So they become the 5th largest shareholder in CCX. Stu, do you recognize GIM?
I do not.
You don't? Really? I'm surprised. I really thought you would. GIM. Co-founder, Al Gore. The other founders, David Blood, Mark Ferguson, and Peter Harris, all ex-Goldman Sachs people.
This is to fight the fact that the Earth has a fever. It's to finally do something about our SUVs.
Now, in 2006, somebody else reads about the CCX. 2006 is a pivotal year.
I invest in things in which I believe.
So in 2006, remember that year, 2006, somebody else sees the Chicago Climate Exchange and says, we should be a 10% investor in this. So they pony up for 10% in 2006. The investor, Goldman Sachs. So now you have Gore with ex-Goldman Sachs people. Mm-hmm. You have a 10% investment from Goldman Sachs itself, and you have the president of the United States before he was president being the guy that funneled the money from the Joyce Foundation to start CCX.
So far, I don't see a problem. Is there one?
Well, here's where it's about to get good. Okay, so there's your CCX. You got it?
It's about time.
Do you see a problem? Just in that. Well, do you think that's... With global warming on the horizon and what's happening with Goldman Sachs right now, do you think maybe this is a front page story?
It certainly seems like it would be something worth pointing out. Yes. Like people should know that this is how this came to be.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because this is going to be the climate exchange. They do cap and trade. This is the climate exchange worth $10 trillion a year.
Right.
And all of these people are involved.
And cap and trade doesn't just magically occur. It comes through government.
Yes. Now, are you ready? Now, what you have here is the exchange, if you will. You have the building. You have all of the investors, and they're like, okay, we're ready to build a building. Okay. Is now they have it, but it's all on a voluntary basis, so it's not government ordered, but this is all ready to go. The problem with this is they didn't have the technology. They didn't have the technology to trade invisible gas. Well, somebody around 1999 invented this technology and got it all ready to go. Remember, Enron was the one who wanted all of this, okay? The guy who invented the technology, the big board for the Chicago Climate Exchange, the guy who invented this was Carlton Bartels. He went and he filed for the application, but then he was killed on 9/11. So the technology sat there, and his wife thought, well, this is really good technology, and somebody should have it. So she sold it to someone. It still hadn't received the patent, but she sold this technology. Are you ready for this name? See if you recognize this one. To Franklin Rains. He didn't buy it personally. Do you know the name?
Any relation to Harold?
No.
No. Oh. Franklin Rains.
Franklin Rains.
I don't think so.
CEO of Fannie Mae.